Keep her head elevated on a couple of pillows. Did you ever end up getting a foam wedge?
I did get a foam wedge, and they were saying earlier that we have a nice lazy boy.
It's whichever feels more comfortable for you. You know, some people just sleep better in their own bed, and I'd say that's fine. It's whatever, but I like your head elevated.
Okay.
The issue of the wedge is it keeps your head and your neck on the same plane, whereas if we normally put two pillows, it flexes our neck, which puts more tension behind your ears, which makes you then more uncomfortable. I will give you a call this evening, sometime between 9 and 10 tonight, just to check in. You'll have my office answering service, my home phone number. If you have a question, call me. But don't leave me a message. If you need to get hold of me, have the answering service, find me if I'm not home.
Okay.
Okay. Risks include infection, so we do put you on antibiotics. They're incredibly rare. Bleeding, always a concern. Transfusion isn't even in the cards. Bleeding is an issue if blood were to collect under the tissues. It's called a hematoma, so I do check every place that I've been before I close. Scars are initially red. They get raised like a pleat in a pair of pants. They'll gradually flatten and fade over time. Average is 6 months to a year. Could be a little bit longer. I do believe that massaging scars helps to expedite that, so at about a week and a half we'll talk about that as far as when you wash your face and when you shampoo your hair. Any place I lift the skin, you're going to have some numbness of that skin. As that feeling comes back, you may get some itchies. Itchies are a nuisance to you. They're a good sign to me. Feeling comes back to the forehead pretty quickly. Back here may take up to 2 years.
Okay.
You may have some numbness that persists along the scars. That's, that's just stuff you need to know. Operating near the nerve that goes to the corner of your mouth. It lives under the muscle that I'm working on top of. That said, that muscle essentially protects the nerve. But in spite of that, you could get a bruise to the nerve, which would give you a temporary weakness of the corner of your mouth. I've had 3 of those in 23 years. They've all resolved on their own over a period of about 3 months. It was felt to be a bruise from the cautery that we used to coagulate the blood vessels, which then had a heat setting of 40. The one we currently use has a heat setting of 14. So we've actually decreased the heat by 2/3 with no issues. On occasion, a person may have some weakness of the brow when we do a brow lift. That typically also comes back on its own. And then lastly, the reason I'm putting the stitch in the corner of the eye is to support the lower lid so it doesn't get droopiness afterwards.
Awesome.
Questions, anything? I'll review.